Hello, everyone, and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats, and you're not. Anyway, this week is a random week, and you know, I decided I wanted to review this movie from last year, and boy, this is such a good movie, and I can't wait. If you have a chance to see it, I definitely recommend. The movie that I'm talking about is Haunting in Venice, directed by and starring the great Kenneth Branagh. And this is the third in his series of Poirot films based on the books by Agatha Christie. And, yeah, honestly, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that he did these three movies Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile were both fantastic. And this one is as well. Good, solid films, great, they look great, all this stuff. And unfortunately, I don't think this movie did very well at the box office. But I'm hoping that maybe with sales of physical media and watching on streaming and stuff like that, maybe it'll drum up enough interest that we can get a fourth film. It would be great to see him do Evil Under the Sun and some of the other ones. Personally, I wouldn't mind also too. I mean, Branagh has directed movies that he hasn't starred in. I think it would be awesome if possibly maybe do a series of films based on Agatha Christie's books about Miss Marple. Get a great, amazing, talented, legendary actress and have her play Miss Marple and do a series of films based off those books. That's just my personal opinion, but I think it'd be fantastic if that's what would happen. But anyway, so this story here, it starts off in obviously in Venice because the title. But anyway, so yeah, you got the character Hercule Poirot played by Kenneth Branagh. He's in Venice, and he's basically just trying to live his life. He's retired from being a detective. He's not taking cases. He's constantly having people coming after him, wanting him to look into cases for him and stuff. And he has a bodyguard to, protect him and keep him, keep people away from him. So he's just trying to live in solitude. And one day he gets a visit from his friend. I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm sorry, but I think it's Ariadne Oliver. I think that's how you pronounce it. Played by Tina Fey. And Tina Fey in this movie is phenomenal. Obviously, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we all know Tina Fey is mostly known for comedy. She's a comedian, but she's also not just a comedian. She's also a very gifted writer as well. She's created TV shows that have lasted for years. She created, obviously, 30 Rock, and of course we know her from Saturday Night Live and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She's so Tina Fey is very quite accomplished as not just an actress but also as a writer as well. But anyway, so the one thing I think is amazing though is like the chemistry that her and Branagh have in this movie is fantastic. And even though, like I said, even though like Tina Fey is mostly known as a comedian, Branagh does manage to get a fantastic dramatic performance out of her. And I think also too, I think combined with this movie, being in this movie, and then also too, Tina Fey is on the show Only Murders in the Buildings. Even though I think Tina Fey is into comedy and stuff, I think she also has a love for murder mysteries. Just kind of a guess, but it kind of feels that way. So anyway, so her character, she comes to Poirot, and she's telling him about that it's Halloween, that there's going to be a party at this palazzo, and that there's this woman named Joyce Reynolds who is played by Michelle Yeoh, who I don't think I need to say who she is. I think we all know who she is. Anyway, that it turns out that Miss Oliver has been trying to debunk Reynolds as a fraud, and she's like, I'm trying to find, any evidence that I can that this woman is fake. All of her seances, all of her readings, everything is just, bull. And she's like, and I can't crack this girl. I can't find nothing, to break her on. And so that's why I need you. I need you to come and help me and, you know, just detect and everything else and just, help me pinpoint this woman as a fraud. So they go to this palazzo and there's, this, there's a Halloween party and the name of the book actually, Agatha Christie's book that this is based off is actually called Halloween Party. So they go there, they're partying. The kids are, dressed up and, just, your basic kind of Halloween party, shenanigans, playing, bobbing for apples, eating cake, candy, stuff like this, and just kids having a good time and all. And so we're introduced to, Michelle Yeoh's character. And Michelle Yeoh, oh God, she's not in the movie for very long, but, for the time that she's in here, man, she definitely captivates the screen, I mean, not that she hasn't done it in movies before, but it's like, oh man, she just draws your attention. And so, the party clears out, they do the seance, and then, Poirot is looking and he sees a couple of things that he tries to determine that she is a fraud. And then after the seance, I'm trying to skip ahead. I don't want to give too much away for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, but a murder occurs. And then it turns out, Poirot is, he decides to lock down the palazzo and keep everybody inside. And then he's going to do his investigating and start detecting and find, and unravel the murder mystery of who, who did the crime and everything else. But also at the same time, one thing that is different from this one, from the first two films, is that this movie is oozing with gothic horror atmosphere. I mean, Branagh is, has said that he is a lover of, the classic, kind of modern gothic horror and stuff. I mean, you could definitely tell that with his adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and he does love good murder mysteries, and he has, confessed that he is a, of the traditional classic gothic horror and everything. And his love for it comes very clearly in this movie. This movie has so much great atmosphere. The setting is fantastic. There are some jump scares, not gonna lie, but some good genuine suspense, and of course, and the big difference between this one and the first two movies is that when Poirot is trying to, solve the case, this time he starts, he's, now the thing is in these movies, Poirot is a die-hard atheist. He does not believe in God or the devil. He does not believe in ghosts or spirits or any of that kind of stuff. But in this instance, when he's trying to detect this case and trying to solve it, he comes across things that like he can't explain things, and there he starts coming across, he starts seeing things and hearing things that aren't there, and and so like now here's a man who, like I said, has been such a diehard non-believer. Now he's being faced with things that even though he tries to rationally explain it, he's there are moments in the movie he's not sure that he can, you know. And I think that that's a nice element to this story. What makes it even more juicy of a tale is that like while you have Poirot who's doing his thing, he's detecting crime, he's trying to solve a murder, who's the killer and stuff like this. But at the same time, he's being haunted by visions and hearing voices and things like this, and so he's got this other thing that he has to deal with while he's trying to solve the case. And of course, it's a murder mystery. It's a detective story, but like I said, it's got a, super. There is a bit of a supernatural gothic horror element to it, and I'll leave it at that because I mean, obviously, it's like you don't want to give away too much in something like this. You don't want to give away all the details, but I'll just leave it at that. And this movie is phenomenal, though. I mean, it is so good. Like I said, the atmosphere, the setting, everything in this movie just works. I will say one thing that is a little bit of a detriment to this one, as opposed to the first two films, is that in Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, you had much more kind of well-known faces, a more recognizable cast. In this movie, yeah, you have Branagh, you have Tina Fey, Michelle Yeoh, you have Jamie Dornan, who from the 50 Shades of Grey movie. But most of the other actors and actresses in this movie, you're kind of like, maybe I've seen them in something, but I'm not really sure. So, the cast in this doesn't feel as noteworthy as maybe like in Murder on the Orient Express, where you had not just Branagh, but you had Johnny Depp and Willem Dafoe and Daisy Ridley and Michelle Pfeiffer and Judi Dench and who else? Good God. I'm sure there's others. Or like in Death on the Nile, where you had like Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer and on, and so anyway, so just yeah. But anyway, even though the cast may not be as well known as those first two movies, the cast in this movie still definitely delivers because obviously Branagh, as a talented Shakespearean actor, if there's one thing he knows how to do, he knows how to direct actors. He knows how to get brilliant performances, and also too, he does know how to tell a story. And this one here, this one doesn't feel. I do admit, like they're in both Murder on the Orient Express and um, Death on the Nile, there did seem to be a little bit of kind of like wokeness kind of pushed into it. Not too heavy handed, but enough just to kind of let you know it's there. Whereas this one here, it doesn't really feel like it. It kind of feels like that's missing from this, or if it's in here, it's so subtle you don't notice it. But I mean, this movie just feels much more, like I said, it just feels much more like just feels much more like a murder mystery with a gothic supernatural horror element to it. And but oh man, like I said, I don't want to keep going much more because, like I said, if I start talking more, it's going to go into spoilers. And in a story like this, you don't want anything spoiled for you. You want everything to be, you want the surprises and everything. You want the twists and turns and all that stuff. So I would just leave it at there and say, yeah, I mean, this movie, like I said, it's amazing, atmospheric, very well made. Yes, there are a couple of, kind of cheap jump scares in there, but aside from that, this movie is just awesome. And I can't recommend it enough. And the same thing with Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. I can't recommend those movies enough either. And like I said, I sincerely hope that this movie does well, and at least maybe with physical media sales and streaming and stuff like that. That hopefully there will still be enough of an interest that we can get another Poirot film down the road. Like I said, there's definitely more Poirot stories to be mined. Like I said, I think a lot of people would love to see him take Evil Under the Sun and do that one as a movie, and not just that one, but others too. But like also I said, like I think it would be awesome if at some point Branagh could, be persuaded to maybe start making a series of, like I said, of Miss Marple films. Get like a veteran, mature, legendary actress, and just give her a chance. Like I said, it could be anybody. It could be Meryl Streep. Could be somebody. An actress with really fine pedigree, and just let her do it. I think that would be amazing as well. But so yeah, Haunting in Venice, definitely give it a shot. It's so good, and you won't be disappointed by it. And yeah, and this is actually a really good one because it takes place on Halloween. This is definitely a good one to watch around Halloween time. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please leave a like? If you haven't already, please go and subscribe to the BodyBags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer, and I'm really happy to be a part of this group. And yeah, just more theme weeks coming, year weeks, label weeks, all that kind of fun stuff coming. So that's it, everybody. So take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you all later.